Hello everyone, thank you very much. This one another ogbonge news when we don't break on give you now concerning Nnamdi Kanu's court case today. What are we really expecting? Okay, by the end of the day, my people are beg, not come off for you. Just stay and see because this video, will blow your mind. I beg. At the drop am for you. Let's get there. I will be right back.
Today is Friday. So, Nnamdi Kanu's case, today is the second day of the trial, since the trial resumes. And there are some things that the public are expecting from the counsels of Nnamdi Kanu. There is no doubt that Nnamdi Kanu is having amazing senior advocates of Nigeria and good lawyers around him. There is no doubt about that. There is no doubt that Nnamdi Kanu don't tolerate rubbish, okay, if he sends any, illegality or bias in court. The past court proceedings under Bentanyako will make you understand what I'm saying. Now, there is a very serious issue that the public, when I mean the public, I'm talking about the people who are supporting Nnamdi Kanu. There is something we're expecting from the councils. And what could that be? Now, it's not about release of Nnamdi Kanu because everyone knows that Nnamdi Kanu will be released, okay? Either on bail while the trial continues or he will be discharged, okay? That one is not the issue. The issue is who owns the plane that they used to kidnap Nnamdi Kanu from Kenya. People know in private, but it must be made known open. That must be presented in court because what they did was illegal something and Supreme Court has condemned it. Who are those who went there to kidnap him? There is no doubt that Buhari and some persons orchestrated it. We are aware of that. But people who carried out the acts must be brought to book. As far as their own courts, Supreme Court has come to condemn that in totality. Now, we are not even talking about the people who carried out the Python dance, who came to Nnamdi Kanu house and killed a lot of people, okay? Supreme Court has condemned that. I know that a lot of suing will happen once Nnamdi Kanu is free. The public want to see all these things discussed. They want to see all these things presented, okay? It's not important that the councils will just follow everything the other parties from the federal government are saying because they want the case to be fast. Yes, the case will be fast because the judge, James Omotosho, has shown that he really wants everything to finish. They don't want Nnamdi Kanu case to pass 10 years, 10 good years. Okay? So these are the issues that the public really want to understand, and the public really want to know what is the position of the court to what the Supreme Court have said. Because the reason why Nnamdi Kanu was vibrating in court before is because he saw that Bentanyako was not respecting the rulings of the Supreme Court that has condemned the federal government agents like the DSS, the military, and condemned the kidnap and bringing of Nnamdi Kanu back to Nigeria in totality, as it violates almost the whole norms and constitution we know in the world. So we are not seeing all these things, okay? Because today the masked witness will be cross-examined, okay? They will cross-examine him. He said that he saw Nnamdi Kanu in a hotel that has apartments, something like that, with a broadcasting equipment with a lady that later people said is Nnamdi Kanu's wife. But how does that concern the case we are talking about? How does it concern the terrorism charges you people leveled against Nnamdi Kanu? And they are saying that Nnamdi Kanu said the Biafra agitation is his right. So I think when Nnamdi Kanu, when they hold him that 10 years ago, 2015, these people were thinking that yes, we caught him with broadcasting equipment. He has been broadcasting things that is contrary to the law. Is that enough reason to charge someone for terrorism? Anyway, the federal government council says they still have more witnesses to come to testify. But this is laughable. At the end, people will realize that they are holding Nnamdi Kanu not because of what he committed. At the end, people will realize that they are holding Nnamdi Kanu not because of what he committed, but because of what he represents. Because they don't want, this Biafra issue, they don't want it. because they know that it is going to spoil both the Britain's, business in Nigeria, the corruption, the people who bought oil well for 1 million, like Dangote said. It's going to disrupt a lot of things. And that is why all hell knows. They don't want to hear you talk about it. If they even see you wearing the cloth, they will hold you. All sort of rascality will lose because of what they perceive as a threat to them. But one thing is sure, you can't kill an idea whose time has come. How many people are you going to kill? Ever since Nnamdi Kanu was arrested, did the issue of Biafra stop? No. So it's either you believe on the cause he's striving for or not. The truth must be unveiled. And look at, if Nnamdi Kanu was wrong, why is it that everything he said towards the reason why he's agitating is coming to pass? You can't go to your farm, you can't do this, you can't do that. Everything is just against us. Look at terrorists in all our farms. And people don't still understand what is going to happen. Anyway, Dan on that side made this video about a year ago. This is not a new video, but I want you to watch it for you to understand what really happened about the Supreme Court case of Nnamdi Kanu. Take a listen.
So, if anybody, when Nigerian citizens see the details of the Supreme Court statement today, they will marvel at how, after saying all these illegality that the federal government and their security agencies committed, all they had to do was that the primary court said, the appeal court said that the primary court had no jurisdiction. So they condemned the appeal court for taking that decision. Therefore, because the primary court had jurisdiction, the case should go back to them. So if in all these atrocities they committed, they had killed Nnamdi Kanu, what will be the basis of the primary court and its jurisdiction? What will be the basis of it? When I started, I talked about judicial rascality. So what it empowers is security rascality. Because you cannot tell other police, army, navy, air force, condemn them plainly, and then you exonerate them. So you give them license to kill Nigerians, just like they are doing in Plateau, killing people. They are doing in Benue. Herdsmen are killing people. But you haven't had any person in this country condemn the herdsmen of Nigeria for killing hundreds of thousands of Nigerians. You haven't had them condemn the killings in southern Kaduna. So the security agencies are being encouraged to recklessness. And recklessness not about spoken word. Recklessness with gun, killing Nigerian citizens. So if anybody, when Nigerian citizens see the details of the Supreme Court statement today, they will marvel at how, after saying all these illegality that the federal government and their security agencies committed, all they had to do was that the primary court said, the appeal court said that the primary court had no jurisdiction. So they condemned the appeal court for taking that decision. Therefore, because the primary court had jurisdiction, the case should go back to them. So if in all these atrocities they committed, they had killed Nnamdi Kanu, what will be the basis of the primary court and its jurisdiction? What will be the basis of it? And look at the whole panel, about 7 judges, not one Igbo man, not one person from the southeast, not one person from the south. So it's a contrived business to put that boy, to put him behind bar. And we have been asking that they should turn him to Kuje prison. They refuse. Why wouldn't they allow him to go to Kuje prison? Why keep him at the DSS? Why? So it shows you that Nigeria is not interested in fighting insecurity. Because if they were interested and they love this country, they would have seen that Nnamdi Kanu is a major instrument that will bring security. Southeast will be a beginning. The other parts of the country would have been a follow-up. So it's unfortunate that you condemn security forces for the crimes they commit and you exonerate them by keeping Nnamdi Kanu there and asking that we go back again, to start case from, Federal High Court Africa. What actually is the sin of Nnamdi Kanu? Asking for justice for everything. That's what he's saying. That the Southeast has been completely, excommunicated from everything that happens in this country. So we pray that this young man, I don't know whether you have had the privilege to speak with him, one of the most brilliant young men you can ever come across. Not only is he brilliant, but well spoken. Why this country shows you that we have no values. Can you imagine a boy that a whole zone respects? A whole zone respects him. Who else, apart from M.I. Obara in those days and Dr. Nnamdi, they don't have as much respect as this young man. That would have been an advantage for Tinubu and his government with the National Security Advisor to say, look, how do we seriously start to curb this insecurity in the country? If this boy is so loved by his people, why don't we sit him down and discuss with him, know where he's coming from? If there are things he's agitating against we can solve, we start doing something. And look at Northwest and Northeast. Look at where the country is today. Everywhere is war, killing people. Killing is no more, it's an admirable, concept in Nigeria now. Any day nobody is killed, you don't hear it, then it's abnormal. But the normal day, hundreds killed in herdsmen in Plano Plateau, in southern Kaduna, in the southeast, then not to talk of the bandits and Boko Haram in northeast and northwest. That one is a daily occurrence, killing hundreds of them. We're a country without statistics. If we have good statistics, people will riot to know the number of Nigerians who are dying. Every town now, in all parts of the country, people are burying people. People go to bed, they won't wake up. So it's all cumulative effect of total insecurity. Probably you do work somewhere, nobody pays you. You are working for somebody, you are not paid. You go to bed, you are thinking of what you will tell your wife in the morning. You can't pay school fees. The man goes to bed and won't wake up. And will say, God, please take my life. Why am I living? When a man cannot take care of his immediate family, what life is it anymore? And you don't want people to react. Young men leave school, no work, and they see somebody who rigged an election and goes to Abuja and he buys a armored plated jeep for 160 million, and you want him to go and sleep. His parents sell their property to train our young men and women, and they come out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 years. They can't say good morning, thank you to their parents. They look at their parents without any hope of tomorrow. Parents who have trained their children, we should have hope that their children should get back to take care of them. But it's not the case in Nigeria. And we don't have our legislators are not interested. Executive all over the place are not interested. So I don't know how this problem will be sorted out. I normally find it very difficult to discuss a profession that I'm not one. But common sense also tells you that you can reason. If somebody is talking, you can reason. But it's painful because some patriotic Igbos, I saw 1 or 2 senators there who left everything they were doing to come to the Supreme Court with some hope. Because if you listen to the judgment of the appeal court, it was fundamentally very literate, accommodating on every aspect of it. So people were very hopeful that the appeal court would uphold the judgment of the Court of Appeal. The Supreme Court will uphold the judgment of the Court of Appeal, and that would have been a case done for. But unfortunately, because if you were in the Supreme Court, like I was, we were there as early as 8:30 in the morning. And when he started running this judgment, on every aspect of that case, he condemned it. The Supreme Court condemned the federal government of Nigeria. In fact, they used the word illegality not less than 20 times. The killing of people at Nnamdi Kanu's father's compound, they even named the number of people killed, the rendition from Kenya, how he was kidnapped. It was difficult to believe that after condemning the security services for unauthorized and unorthodox behavior, kidnapping Nigerians and killing people anyhow, I have never seen a court with that kind of finality in terms of condemning public officers who were working for government, telling them, you don't take the laws into your hands, only to finally, because they said they disagreed with the appeal court, that the lower court had no jurisdiction. It was the basis of what they are doing, that they should now go back to that court because it has jurisdiction to hear the case in the first place. That's some of it. So if Nnamdi Kanu dies, after all this illegality, what case are they going to hear? This boy has been under detention for how many years now? Even the Supreme Court was asking all these questions too. The illegality that has been meted against him, and yet they say we'll go back again to the federal high courts, where we'll start begging for bail. Even condemned the government, that court, for revoking his bail. That was the exact statement of the Supreme Court. So you don't even know the basis of their final decision. So when people say that there is a judicial rascality in this country, you cannot but agree with those people, because unless it affects you, you won't appreciate why they said so. Because when you at the whole Supreme Court, I mean, everybody bent his face down. All lawyers were so astonished. To talk of embarrassment is an understatement. But in all cases, as a Christian, we give glory to God.
So guys, thank you very much for staying to the end of this video. You've all heard it now. Nigerian government is being watched, globally. They want to see how this case goes. And I know say this case is a very high profile one. You understand? So the world is watching how Nigerian government will end this very Nnamdi Kanu's case. So guys, I'm dropping it here. Thank you very much once again. May God bless you all. See you in my next video. Please don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to share. Don't forget to like. Bye for now.